Range fans, we're back on the bench again today with a number of different calibers in the reloading layer. We're going to start out with 45 ACP on Moon Clip. Then we're going to move from 45 ACP down the bench a little bit to 45 Super. For those of you unfamiliar with 45 Super, stay tuned. Today at therange.com, we will be bringing you a review of the 45 Super's capabilities. So anybody guessed yet what revolver is capable of firing 45 ACP and Moon Clip and also 45 Super? Before you take a guess, let's move on. We move on to my reloaded 45 Colt ammunition. That's right, all of this goes through the same revolver. From 45 Colt, I'm trying to develop a short-barreled 454 Casull ammo that I've reloaded that I'm going to test and put across the chronograph today. That's right, I said short-barreled 454 Casull, folks. And then we move on to factory 300 grain 454 Casull. Are you stumped yet on what revolver fires all these different calibers and also capable of firing 45 Schofield, which I don't have any of just yet, waiting on Midway USA to ship? You give up? Packing heat with the Ruger Super Red Hawk Alaskan. This is not your average Alaskan, folks. Fans, this Red Hawk Alaskan is not your average or typical Ruger Red Hawk. Most of you familiar with the Alaskan will know it is most definitely capable of shooting 45 Colt and 454 Casull. But what is all this noise about 45 ACP and 45 Super that I'm talking about today? Well, the old safety check will reveal a few things. As you can see there, the revolver is safe. But as you can see with this Ruger Red Hawk Alaskan, first and foremost, you see that I've changed the grips. This was a Christmas gift from my beautiful wife. I wanted a smaller set of grips that made it a little bit easier to carry, which does increase recoil a tad bit because the original grips has a gel pad back here versus the standard GP100 grips. And yes, folks, the standard GP100 grips will fit on the frame of the Ruger Red Hawk Alaskan. She also got me these burl grip panels, which is absolutely beautiful. I think it just makes this revolver a standout. But anyways, back to this noise about 45 ACP and 45 Super. Right here in the cylinder, I sent the cylinder off to have it machined. And you can read the written review over at dayattherange.com. But as you can see here, I've had the cylinder machined so that I can still fire 454 Casull and have it headspace as normal. I'll try to pick this up in the camera. So it still headspaces on the rim of the cartridge on the edge of the cylinder there. You take the 45 Casull out, 454 Casull out. Sorry about that, folks. This is my 454 Casull short barrel load. That's right, I've been trying to come up with a 454 Casull short barrel load, much like you see the 38 Special and 357 short barrel loads. Trying to develop my own using quick load, using quite a few manuals, going through quite a few powders and testing. This particular load is loaded with a 240 grain Sierra bullet. And as you can see, the ejection still works like it normally would in a typical revolver, right? Then it'll also fit 45 Colt, folks, with the same headspace of 454 Casull. I'm running through this because I'm anxious to get to the range, and you may have seen the previous video where I did a little bit of work to make sure that it would set off all primers, all small rifle primers. What I had to do, this will give a better indication, was file the hammer stop back just a few thousands. It just was not delivering enough energy to the transfer bar. Doing some reading on Hamilton Bowen's website, saying he developed a extended firing pin for this particular revolver. I kind of had an idea of what was going on, and I decided to go about it a different way versus sending the revolver out, because yes, you can replace the firing pin at home in these revolvers. I didn't want to go through the hassle and decided to try something a little different. And so far it has been 100%. 100% reliable. Now, what about this 45 ACP nonsense? By the way, folks, I do not like, and it makes me extremely nervous, having loaded ammunition on the bench with me while giving a short overview for a short barrel revolver. Huh, that's pretty funny. But anyways, while giving a short overview, I do not, and you will never see me, this is the first time you guys have seen me have loaded ammunition on the bench. You can see there, it does close, okay? Cylinder does close on the 45 ACP. And for the moon clip, there you have it. The moon clip ensures ejection, and then the 45 Super, it should drop right in as well. And it does, and ejects just fine. So there you have it, folks. Not going to go into a detailed review on camera for the Ruger Super Red Hawk Alaskan, because you can read about it over at dayattherange.com. Gave detailed review, even gave a detailed review with really close-up pictures on the cylinder work for this beast. But I consider this thing a do-it-all revolver now. You can use 45 ACP for personal protection, 45 Super for personal protection, or even thin-skin animal hunting maybe. We'll see. These are my 45 Super loads that I've reloaded, and we're going to put them across the chronograph, see what kind of velocity I get out of them. It'll be the first time I've shot these as I've developed this 45 Super load. And yes, it is in a 45 Super case. And folks, stay tuned, because 45 Super is different than 45 ACP. And by the way, yes, folks, the case is different. Pretty much same dimensions as 45 ACP, but there's a little bit different that I'll go to at a later date, later time, when we start to talk about 45 Super. And then you have 45 Colt. Yeah, some could argue that you could use it for, or that's 454 Casull. There's the 45 Colt. Some would argue that you could use it for personal protection as well, but definitely wouldn't feel undermanned for personal protection in any urban or wood setting. And then what I want to develop is a 454 Casull do-it-all round. This is my personal loaded ammunition short barrel. This is what I'm interested in firing across the chronograph today, to see what kind of speeds and feeds I get out of it. And then we're going to fire this beast. That's right, folks. This is a 300 grain pill in factory loaded Hornady 454 Casull ammunition. Now, Hornady says this stuff is rated at 1,650 feet per second. Well, we're going to see what it'll do out of this little short barrel and see what it does to the palm of these big old meat hooks. Anyways, let's get out to the range, folks, and get these loads across the chronograph and see what this do-it-all, packing heat, Ruger Red Hawk Alaskan is capable of. Packing heat. That's right, range fans. On the range today with the snub nose custom Ruger Alaskan. You saw on the bench with me earlier the rounds that we're going to put across the chronograph, and on target we're going to start with 45 ACP. Make sure we get full ignition, and I'll go across the chronograph. Let's see how it goes. Oh, wow. Man, I lost a lot of velocity. I tell you what, out of a 1911, these average about 750 feet per second. But out of this old Ruger Alaskan, you can see it's about 527 feet per second. That's a lot lower than what I thought it would be. But we're going to move on to 45 Super out of the Super Red Hawk Alaskan. 45 ACP had 100% ignition out of the Ruger Red Hawk Alaskan. Now we're going to test 45 Super across the Alaskan and get the chronograph numbers as well. Let's see if we get 100% ignition and see what 45 Super looks like across chronograph.
One 1,040. 1,041.
So 45 Super got quite a bit of snap to it.
One 1,031.
All right, I think I got 4 registered. You'll see the chronograph numbers included. Man, I'm rushing through this thing because I'm so anxious to try out my short barrel 454 loads to see how they perform, and then moving on to that Hornady 300 grain, 1,600 feet per second. Whew, we got some barn burners coming up and packing heat. Versatile Ruger Alaskan. All right, range fans, we're moving up to the 45 Colt, moving up to the heavyweights now. 260 grain, 45 Colt across the chronograph.
653.
Wow. I'm looking at my chronograph numbers over here on the phone that you guys are seeing. It feel good. 100% ignition, pretty accurate on target. I expected a little bit more velocity. Out of the old 45 Colt. I may have to redo this footage, folks, because I'm losing confidence in my chronograph. I see the battery lights flashing. So that might be causing some differences in low velocity that we see downrange. But that's okay. I don't care. I'm here. I'm still going to put these 454 Casuls across and see what they do. Stay tuned. All right, folks, loaded up with my own loads, 454 Casull short barrel with 240 grain Sierra. We're going to see what the velocities are like downrange. I may have to redo this footage. Not quite sure, folks. I just noticed my battery light is flashing on my chronograph. So I don't know how much confidence I'm going to have in these numbers, but I'm out here on the range. I'm not going to waste a good day. I'm still going to put them across chronograph, see what it's like. My own 454 Casuls.
$1,106.
Yeah, buddy. A lot more kick.
1130.
All right. And going off each time. This is what I need. All right.
1182.
Ooh, this thing's a handful. I got one more. I'm going to check this last round for crimp jump to make sure. I got some really tight crimps on this thing. And guess what, folks? It has moved just a hair. It hasn't moved enough to lock up the cylinder. That's one thing for you folks to be aware of out there with 454 Casull and loading your own or any high pressure cartridge like the 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum or the 460. But you can see I had this thing crimped dead center, and obviously not enough crimp for the short barrel of this Alaskan. That is something to be very well aware of, as it can lock up your revolver in a dangerous situation in the most inopportune time. So beware of that. I'm going to put a little bit more crimp on these as I reload more, but this one's safe to put across the chronograph.
$1,101.
Woo! Again, I don't know if I trust these numbers, but I guess I'm going to have to today because I don't have a 9-volt from a chronograph. I'm going to rush through and put these Hornadies across, and maybe that'll give us a level set of, is the chronograph behaving like it should on low battery? Let's get to the real 454 Casull. I'm back with the real deal, guys. Hornady 454. Let's see if we can get a good look at this one. We're going to shoot 4 rounds and then check the last 2 for crimp jump. These are crimped about in the center of the cannulor. So, man, these are 300 grain. That's right, too, people. I don't want any comments from the peanut gallery about my wimpy gloves. Let's put these 300 grainers across the chronograph.
$1,400.
Woo! Smoking! Still pretty accurate with it. We're going to test for crimp jump. Oh, look at that. Sticky extraction, folks, with the Hornady. Really sticky extraction, folks, with the Hornady. But no crimp jump. No crimp jump at all. Let's fire these last 4 across the chronograph.
$1,427. $1,426.
Beating on the palm of my hand. Woo! Man, oh man. Yeah, that's right. I'm taking a break. But I'm calling it. Wow. These 300 grainers really have some sticky extraction. I mean, it's taking a lot of pressure to get them out. I just dropped the rounds, folks. Be right back. Man, these Hornadies really have sticky extraction, but I tell you, they're pretty accurate. Out of this short barrel revolver, we're getting about 1,400 feet per second out of a 300 grain pill. And I do see a little crimp jump there. Not as much as the cannulor was showing before. So there's definitely a little crimp jump. Let's, yeah, Nothing that'll lock up the revolver, but definitely you got to be careful with on the Ruger Alaskan. That's really kind of why I want to develop my own 454 Casull short barrel loads. Not wimpy loads as the ones that I've tested today, but some really serious loads of 454 with the right crimp to not have to worry about safety on crimp jump if I'm out in the woods with these things. Let's shoot this last one across the chronograph.
1,424.
Man, what recoil. Whew, so I will tell you folks, yes, the Ruger Alaskan is packing heat. Really, this snub nose could be an all-around self-defense pistol from 45 ACP to 45 Super, as you saw. Hopefully, the 45 Schofield will be coming in soon to put across the chronograph out of the 2-inch barrel, and then on to the 454 Casull loads. I really enjoyed my time on the range today with the Ruger Alaskan. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel and be ready for more revolver videos to come. Mr. Revolver Guy, DayAtTheRange.com.